welcome back. So I'm doing this video because I kind of want you to get a grip of what it's kind of like dealing with the lawn care industry. And I also figure out why a lot of companies, they buy new equipment very frequently. We're back here with the Lawn Air 28. My goal has been to try to get these old equipment, all this old equipment, fairly reliable. And this was no different. The reason why is I can't find parts for this engine or anything anymore. And it's an old engine. So I was going to try to repower it, put a new engine on it. And then something happened today. So I went, and I don't know why it worked this way, but I went and I aerated a lawn. Worked fine, worked flawlessly, got it back on the trailer, stopped it, went back, and it wouldn't start at the next job. Which really sucks because it makes me look very unprofessional. It makes me look bad and all kinds of things. So hopefully I can get this thing back up and running tomorrow. However, I am going to be doing it with the less than ideal circumstances. Because I went and I checked the engine. It's got some kind of spark, but it's a very low spark. Sorry for the seasickness. You're sitting on the trailer and I just adjusted myself. It's something about having a 2x4 up your rear. So, I checked the spark. It's got a very weak spark, but that isn't even the bigger problem. Then I checked compression. There's zero compression in the engine. I don't understand why it worked for that first job, and then when I put it back on the trailer, drove out, went probably about 10 minutes away, it didn't want to start. Maybe something wore out in that first job enough that it killed all the compression left in it. So I'm at a crossroads here. First off, yeah, the Wisconsin Robin engine is not going to get fixed. I'm not going to rebuild this engine. It's way too old. I can't find parts for it. It's a discontinued engine, so it's going to be a replacement. Unfortunately, I don't have the replacement yet. So I've been working on it for a while, but I still don't have a replacement for it. And I need a replacement like today. So what I have here, this is an old snowblower engine. Now the current engines, the Hondas that they put on them, are 196 cc's. This is 179. I'm hoping it kicks up enough power that it works. There's a couple things I got to do. I have started it. It does run. So after sitting in basically the bin I keep all my wood for the fire pit in, you see it's quite a bit rusty. It's had a lot of moisture. It still runs after all that time. I used the electric start to fire it up. Worst case scenario, I'm going to need to use the electric start to fire it up every time because the pull start won't work because the carburetor's gummed up or something like that. But either way, I have the power inverter in the truck that I can plug that in. So it's designed basically to start engines just like this, is the reason why I got it. The other thing I'm going to have to figure out is some kind of shut-off mechanism for it because I don't have the original switch, which was a keyed switch for it. I can look around and see if I can find it, but either way, I'd rather just have almost a toggle switch or something like that on it. The other issue that comes in, the gas tank that was on this engine was built to the chassis and not to the engine. So I don't have a gas tank for it. So I'm going to have to try to figure out how to get this gas tank off or find another gas tank to mount to this engine because it has to mount on the engine because that's just the way this machine wants it mounted. But we're going to see if we can get her to roll again. So at least in a place where I'm willing to let her roll. And then it's kind of already getting dark. It was end of day when this is all going down. So I probably will not be able to test it out tonight. I'm going to have to pull the trailer out tomorrow morning, pull it out, just take a quick pass for my lawn, make sure it's plugging away and doing all that. So we're going to get started on this, and it's going to be a rough night. Okay, so I'm going to actually start by getting this pulley off of the newer engine. You can use see I'm using a pipe wrench on this. This is one of the things you can use on this to hold it. Otherwise, it'll just spin. Another thing you can use on it is an impact, which I don't feel like pulling out. Now, that thing is in there pretty solid. We're going to have to use some persuasion. And my motto is, don't force it, get a bigger hammer. And that's a pretty big hammer. Hopefully we don't need bigger than that. But I don't see a set screw on this. So maybe we'll just get the pullers and try that. Okay. Alright, so this actually has a tapered end. That should be fine, I think. What I'm mainly concerned about is this larger side. It could be 3/4 of an inch or it could be 1 inch. If this is the wrong size, it's pretty much game over. The way to figure that out is to basically, the best way to figure that out would be to pull the pulley off and off the other one and see if it fits on here. So I'm going to move this thing out of the way for right now. If I unplug it. And we'll get to the Wisconsin Robbins engine. time to regroup and replan. That pulley doesn't want to come off, so the engine's going to have to come out one way or the other. It's a bad engine. So I'm going to yank the engine out first, and then we'll mess with the pulley. Still got that guide on the belt. That's probably going to cause problems for me down the road, but I don't know that for sure, so only time will tell. So we'll just roll with it. There it is. Oh! One Wisconsin Robbins engine out. Now we can see if we can get this pulley off, and hopefully it fits on the new engine. It's dirty. Probably should clean that up before I put the new engine on. Maybe not. Who knows? Now might be a good time for a break. Yeah, definitely a good time. Okay, so what I've done is heated and lubricated the living snot out of this pulley, and it is not loosening up one bit. Here. The heck? Why doesn't it want to go on there? There. I am really bad at this. So, a lot of steam coming off. Might have to call it quits and just cancel the rest of the core aerations at this point. It really kind of stinks, but that's where I'm at. And probably gonna end up having to buy a new pulley, and those are like 50-60 bucks a piece. Fun, as well as the new engine. Yeah. I guess I'll keep trying at the pulley. Maybe I'll get it. I took the gas tank off, and that's all going to be a whole nother world of fun. And then took the new engine, put it on there, and the holes don't match up with the old engine. So it's going to need some kind of mounting plate as well. This is just turning into a lot bigger of a project than I thought it was going to be and hoped it to be. Doesn't look like it's going to happen in one night. It's almost midnight, and yeah, I'm not making any kind of progress whatsoever. So I think that's pretty much all she wrote. So I'm back. This is the following day after I found out, basically, this pulley right here, it's not going to come off. It's just way too corroded. If I do get it off, I'm going to end up destroying it. So that pulley, I got to buy a new pulley. Something I'd have to order, so I'm not just going to be able to jump right back into core aeration like I first anticipated. Fortunately and unfortunately, the Core Aerator made it back home. It didn't fall off the trailer. I kind of wish it would have, so I can just kind of gently shove it the rest of the way into a ditch. Anyways, I kid. So, I have to order a new pulley to go on the new motor. I don't really have a new motor yet. I was trying to retrofit this snowblower motor. What I'm going to basically do, I have a few ideas in the cooker. I won't know until tomorrow what's going on. I've been bidding on a water pump online on one of the online talking's easy once you get the hang of it. I've been bidding on an online auction. Right now I'm the high bidder, and until I'm either outbid, which I probably won't go any higher at this point, or the auction ends, I don't know if I have the item or not. So I'm at a crossroads. It's just a wait game to see if I have an engine. If I don't, I'm going to have to bite the bullet, and instead of looking for a good deal on one, I'm just going to have to go for the guy who's selling the $400 Honda or whatever online, or another option is just to get a brand new engine to go over to Harbor Freight and pick up a Predator. Not too excited about that one either. I've been looking, all the Briggs & Strattons that have been online have been basically older than this Wisconsin Robbins. So if I want a 1960s engine to put on it, that might work, but I'm not too keen on that idea either. Not with how reliable I need this machine to be. It's actually a Briggs motor on what I never heard of, called a banjo, that's on this water pump. So we'll see. I spent the day today so far working on trying to put out this dumpster fire that's sitting behind me. I have an obligation for at least one core aeration, and I'd like to try to get that knocked out today, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I know you're saying, Mike, how are you going to do that without a core aeration? Let me tell you a little bit of background on behind the business. So a core aerator is a seasonal item. It's not like a mower that I'm using every single day for, the entire mowing season, or, so to have a backup plan for it usually is not very, conducive. It's not necessarily something, you don't have a piece of backup equipment for it, because it's a very seasonal item. You're doing a lot, but you're not doing a lot. So I don't have another core aerator. They're expensive too, pricey for how much you use them. So yeah, you don't have a backup. You don't have a backup core aerator, but there is a backup plan, and that is basically to go out and rent one. I'm trying to see about trying to get as many of the jobs scheduled. I'm waiting to hear from someone to see if they want to go for it or not. So there's that. And hopefully I can get them knocked out today. Otherwise it won't be until next week, because it's supposed to rain on Thursday, and that's the day I have to do it. And when I say rain, they're predicting big time rain. So I have a customer waiting that I'm obligated for, and one that I'm still waiting to hear from. But if I can manage to get them, rent the machine, get them both knocked out in the same day, that'd be a good thing. And it's just basically a waiting game. It's in the hands of other people at this point. And how I proceed. So this is where I'm at as far as the business end of things. Trying to figure out, do I have an engine? Don't I have an engine? That won't happen until tomorrow. And if the auction falls through, I'm going to figure something out. It might be, like I said, go to Harbor Freight and pick up a Predator. It might be go online and pick up one of these Honda engines or something like that these guys want extraordinary amounts of money for whatever reason. I don't get it. I don't understand why. Yeah, Hondas are okay, but they're not that great. Still, but whatever. I've heard good things about the Predator engines. Never experienced one before. Maybe it's about time I do. I don't know. So today is just basically a day of putting out dumpster fires. It's supposed to be an easy day. It's a stressful day. And hopefully I can... Right now, my main goal right now is to get this trailer behind me that I've been using as my workbench all cleaned up. Get the core aerator off of it. If nothing else, come tomorrow I need to have the mower on it. So, yeah. Lots to do. That's pretty much all I can do right now, is to get this trailer cleaned off. And then wait for the customer to get back to me about what they want to do with the core aeration, because if he gets back to me soon enough, I can get to it today. I can rent the machine, get both of them knocked out the same day on one rental. Otherwise, I might just end up going over there, renting it, and having to do it again, or maybe tell the guy, you know what, I can't. You waited too long. I moved forward, and I won't be able to do your lawn now. That's the other option. So, yeah, this gets difficult and tricky. It's about making the money and doing the work, and you can't do the work when you don't have the proper tools. So this is just a kicker, because this has been on my radar for a while now, since basically I got the machine and realized I can't find parts for that engine. So this has been on my radar since April, May. and I've just been searching for an engine, trying to find a good deal on one because I had one that ran. Now I'm in a whole different ball game. I gotta take whatever. I gotta do something. I gotta make something happen and work for this machine. I could just say no more core aerations for the rest of the season. That's also a possibility. And just turn down whatever might come in. I don't think there's going to be a lot coming in. We're in October at this point, so I don't think we're going to have a whole lot come in. That's why I basically am trying to fulfill this one obligation, and I'm not too concerned about anything beyond that, because I can just be like, yeah, we're booked solid or whatever, because we don't have the machine. So that's another option, and then I just sit there and wait and tackle it over the winter and continue to look for a good deal on an engine. That's another option. So I have to mill about and figure out exactly what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it. I'm tending to go along the lines of, at least let's get this engine, let's get something in the cooker right now, because it bugs me not having a machine that I don't have the ability to use. It bugs me, that if something comes up that I can't run out and take care of it. That's one of the reasons why I've pushed back the maintenance on this machine as far as I have, is because one thing leads to another. But at the same time, if it's not for the last minute, do you have time for anything? And this is just the big woes of, well, I guess running your own business. So I'm going to continue to work on this dumpster fire and at least do what I can, which is get this trailer cleaned off and get the machine off and get it prepped. I might be throwing a rental on it, and I might be not. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so we're working on putting the dumpster fire out, at least the main part of it. I just got back from the rental place, and I went and I picked this thing up. This is going to spoil me. So this is the Lawn Air 4. It's a 19-inch. One of the things I am not used to is having the roller in the front. I don't know if there's any water or anything in it. I notice there's a plug there. It's a little smaller than what I usually use, but this was the least expensive model they had. So it's going to probably take me a little longer to take care of things. That's where it goes. I've been trying to figure all this stuff out, but ultimately went and rented one, because it's going to be a while. And well, I'll get in the truck and talk to you a little bit more, but this is what we're going to be working with today. It's got to go back. It's only a rental while I figure out the rest of this saga. Okay, so here's the deal. Why I'm going through all of this is I made a commitment. My commitment was to aerate the customer's lawn. Regardless of whether my equipment's working or not, it doesn't matter. They need their lawn aerated. I made a commitment to do that. This is one of those services that's very difficult to find, so when they found somebody, they were excited. Now, to go around and renege on that is another thing. And this is one of the things why I tell guys they don't want to be necessarily Mr. Johnny on the spot, because, well, it's not even being Johnny on the spot, but they don't want to be Mr. Cheapskate and deal with the cheapskate customers all the time. And this is probably why a lot of people get a bad flavor of contractors, is if I was charging $50 for this aeration, which I go online and I see that all the time, and I know there's guys that go out there and they just run their machine, make a quick $50, and they're happy. They're not dealing with insurance. They're not dealing with, they definitely don't have labor costs. They just run in the machine, and that's fine if you want to hire that guy. Maybe it's a neighbor or something like that. But you got to be wary when you see that guy and you meet that guy, because number one, like I said, they don't have insurance. I can guarantee you they don't if they're giving you aeration for $50. if you don't know how dependable or reliable they are. And if their machine goes down, unlike with me, I'm out here at a rental place renting a machine. I'm taking a hit. I'm not going to make as much money on this job as I did before, but there was the room there to do that. I might not make any money on this, but I probably won't make a loss either. I'll probably be right around break-even point. But I'm okay with that. The guy with the $50 machine, his machine breaks, and he made a commitment to do that. Guess what he's going to do? He's going to say, my machine ain't working. Sorry. We're done. Because there's no room in it for him to rent a machine, because he will actually end up losing money. If he's smart, he'll do that. He'll cancel. If you're lucky, you'll hear from him. But that's just it, is you don't want to be that guy. You just really don't want to be that guy, and you don't want to hire that guy. So that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm going out of my way, renting the machine, taking care of the aeration. I was supposed to be done yesterday. I had a commitment to that. There were some problems. That's understandable to a customer. But standing them up and telling them, no, sorry, can't do it, that's not as understandable. So that's just basically it. That's where we're at. I have integrity, and that's why I'm doing it this way. Yeah, I could take the easy route and just call and be like, I'm not going to do it, but I'm not going to do that, because I have my word, and I'm going to stand behind my word. And ultimately, that's the number one thing in a lot of the contractor type businesses, is just being a man or woman, for that matter, of your word, and being able to stand up. It's hard to get a contract or find somebody who's willing to do business on a handshake anymore, and comfortable doing business on a handshake. I mean, typically for a core aeration job, this is kind of small. I didn't really get a full-on contract or anything with this. It's a one-time gig. We're not talking lots of money. I'm not asking for deposits. If I'm dealing with deposits and things like that, there's a contract signed immediately. And that's just the long and short of it all. But a man is only as good as his word, and I gave my word. I was going to take care of this. I was going to do this. I was going to aerate this lawn, so I'm out renting a machine to do it. And that's one of the things you got to figure out. I was kind of hoping there was another job that was kind of in the cooker. I got him a quote. I told him I can get to it today. He got back to me and said he was going someplace else, and that's fine. He's got his own way. I don't know if he's hiring the $50 guy, maybe find somebody cheaper. I did kind of up it a little bit because I have to rent equipment now. And in case he did come back to me late, I have a little padding on the equipment rental. But ultimately, that's the long short of it all. I gave him a price. I'm going to honor that price, regardless of the fact it's costing me more money. If he, out of the kindness of his heart, want to throw me a few extra bucks, that's his business, but I'm not going to ask for it. I'm just going to do my job that I said I was going to do. Plain and simple. So that's why I'm going through all of this, and that's why it seems like it's more drama than it has to be, because it kind of is. But in a way, it's about sticking to your principles and who you are, and a man without his word is basically just a pile of flesh, in my opinion. So I gave him my word. It pains me when I can't stand up to what I say I'm going to do. So it's something that it grapples with me. So yeah, it's a lot of stress, but here we are, and I'm just going to stick to it. All right, we made it to the location. Now it's time to punch a bunch of holes in the ground. So this particular machine has what's called easy steer technology. And what that means is, you see how these tines, that one moves separate from the rest of them, and that one, these two move together. When you turn, the outsides will move at a different speed than the insides when you're turning. So that allows you to not damage the turf as much when you're turning, and that's why they call it easy steer technology. Alright, so I just finished up the massive part of the dumpster fire right now. I have to figure out how I'm going to proceed with these aerations now, but job's done. Customer's happy. Talked with him a little while, found out that his substructure, he's got a lot of clay. He gets about 2.5 inches of dirt and then he hits clay. And that's one of the issues he's having with his grass. So we talked about how to mediate that, and told him to go talk to the chemical guy who actually referred me to him. And he might be able to find a little bit better stuff than what I can recommend. But ultimately, he seemed to be fairly happy. He got his holes poked in his lawn, and that part of the saga is over. So now we need to deal with the machine. Phew. I just wanted to break in this because a lot of people don't realize just everything that goes in to being a landscaper and everything that we deal with. I mean, we're business owners. I mean, you might be a landscaper that works for someone, but typically we're business owners. You know, sometimes we have to deal with personnel. Sometimes we don't. I don't have to deal with personnel. I'm a solo operator right now, so that's a plus for me, in my opinion. But we have to deal with all of these little problems that come up, just like in any business. You know, you go to Elon Musk and ask him, you know, so what kind of dumpster fires does he have to put out? Do you have to put out? He could probably sit you down and give you a list that would take 3 hours to go through, and that's just what he has to do that day. So, not to mention the ones he's got to tackle the next day and the next day and the next day. It's just part of business owner. I actually kind of enjoy this in a way. It kind of keeps you on your toes. It keeps you on your feet. It's kind of I enjoy the stress a little bit. I don't know. Is that joyful sacrifice? I don't know what you would call it, but I kind of enjoy it. I enjoy the problem solving. I enjoy being able to sit back and go in and say, you know what? I had this problem. I found a way out. I fixed it, and I'm a better person for it. I've learned something from it, and you know, I have a process in place that I didn't have before. So this is the first time I've ever dealt with this with an aeration. Now at least I know I have a process in place, and this could button up to a lot of other equipment. Mowers get expensive to rent. You're almost better off buying a second mower than renting one because of how frequently you use a mower. But for a lot of this equipment, you know, it's just making sure that in the end, I'm charging enough that if I have to rent a piece of equipment, that I'm at least taking home at least $5 at the end of the day. So ultimately, it's a lesson learned. It's a problem solved, and I just move on to the next customer, to the next job, and life goes on. Everything goes on, except that core aerator. So that's not going on anywhere. We have to figure out what's going on with that, whether it's putting a new engine on it, whether it's completely replacing the machine, whether it's setting it on fire and rolling it down a hill into a ditch. I haven't figured that out yet. Okay, I won't roll it down a hill and on fire into a ditch. Maybe. No, I'm not going to do that. I don't like creating fire hazards. Maybe just roll it down into the ditch after we've drained all the fluids out of it. So, but, okay. Anyways, it's just time to move on to the next. This first part of the drama of the saga is over, and we deal with the next part. Dumpster fire number 2. The core aerator. That lawn air. Oh yeah, just one more thing. That lawn air 4, it stinks. I heard guys talk about how core aerators kick their butts. I've never had that problem, not with the 28, not with the plugger I was using before that. I kind of laugh, oh, maybe they're just not, you know, in as good a shape as me. That lawn air 4, I'm sore the next day after just doing that one lawn. It is not those tumble things just are not a good design. So that's the final on that. So we're gonna right now, yeah, we'll figure out phase 2.